The following is a special presentation of the Sports Journey Network. Sports Journey.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to The Breakdown, and I'm your host, Dujanae Bland, and today we have the boss with us. We're going to talk to her about her Super Bowl experience as she was out there covering the Super Bowl. Carita, how's it going?
It's good. As we were chatting before the show, I'm still trying to get back into the swing of things. When you lose a week in a good way, it's like you come back to the real world and it's like, oh man, life is still going, huh?
Yeah, that's tough. But how was your Super Bowl experience?
It was great. I feel like every Super Bowl is different, and I still learn something from every Super Bowl that I attend. And, you know, I feel like I get better and better each one. I got so much content. I tried to put as much out there as I could. I still think that but it was a really great experience. Everything was, the weather was nice, not as warm as I would have liked it to be. I still needed a jacket, but it was bright and beautiful, and you know, that's all you can ask for.
Absolutely. It seemed like from what you posted, like the media day with the different players seemed to be more open than previous years. Like, they seem to be into really engaging with you guys.
Oh, that could be a possibility because, you know, I have noticed this, if you think about it, this was the first, like, normal media availability since the pandemic. Right. Last year, they only had one non-Zoom availability, and that was on the Friday before Super Bowl with the Rams and the Bengals. And so other than that, the conversations were on Zoom. So I think what I've noticed with a lot, even with the NBA, is like, I think they kind of missed us.
Yeah.
They get answering the same questions, but I think like they missed that in-person interaction.
Right.
So I would assume their level of engagement may have been because this is like the first Super Bowl since, like I said, the pandemic, where it's been a sense of normalcy. Because the Chiefs, I mean, they were in the Super Bowl. Was that during the pandemic or?
I think it
right
was.
Yeah,
it was somewhere right after there.
But things were still not open to everybody yet. So, you know, they had experience doing a Super Bowl with online availability. And then as far as the Eagles are concerned, it was probably because for a lot of those guys, they're young. So, I mean, there were some guys who were on that 2017 team, but for the most part, it was like a brand new roster. So a lot of them was their first time there. So that was probably that youthful fun.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you had a good time. That sounded like fun.
Yeah.
Back here in D.C., it's pretty impressive, I think, and they should get some credit for hiring Eric Bieniemy as their offensive coordinator. I see fans feeling it, and I get that feeling as well. I really feel like they have someone in here that can really move this offense forward. Mm-hmm. And, you know, everybody's saying he's stupid for taking the job. I think it's really disrespectful to him because basically, I mean, you're saying he's an idiot, and you know, I get that no one else has to take these, you know, steps to get to a head coaching job, but I thought it's the right move for him.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has a choice in their career path. I mean, he knew exactly what he was doing. He knows exactly where he's going, what he's getting into. I'm sure he's had conversations with Coach Rivera and all the right people. I'm sure he made it known what it would take for him to be in Washington. You know, I'm sure he negotiated the assistant head coach title.
Yeah.
He got a higher salary. He's not stupid. Like, this is what he wanted to do. The man has 2 Super Bowls. So at this point, he may be satisfied with that, and he might be looking to take those further steps to try to get a head coaching job. And yes, it's a shame that he has to take extra steps than some other people do, but it sounds like that's what he's willing to do, and he wanted to change. I'm sure he sees potential on this offense because we all know it's there.
Absolutely.
They just have the right person to unlock that potential.
Yep. My thought too with Eric is that he has the ability to pick his staff. That assistant head coaching position, being over that title, he has full autonomy to the offense.
Exactly.
And that's important. Really says a lot too. It's the difference between a guy in Scott Turner and then you got who has been to Super Bowls in Eric Bieniemy. I think this offense is going to get a real pick-me-up.
I think so too. For him, I mean, Andy Reid said he calls the plays. He said it after the Super Bowl that they just won, but I guess he has to prove that he can call the plays without Andy Reid, which is unfortunate. But all in all, this is where Eric Bieniemy wanted to be. Like, people can say what they want to say. This is the decision he did not have the city. Well, unless they weren't going to renew his contract. I don't know. But at the end of the day, we needed an offensive coordinator.
Yep.
Ron Rivera, to his credit, he seems to have been aggressive about what he wanted.
Yeah. I'm glad they were patient. In years past, they'd be trying to fill that position before the Super Bowl's over with, like there's some rush. And they took their time, and they knew who their man was, and they waited patiently. I really, like how they went about all of this. Now, my question here is with the quarterback position. You have Sam Howell. You can re-sign Taylor Heineke, and you can go that route. The only other option for me is Lamar Jackson, but I don't see that happening. So, are you going to go with Sam Howell? Or does Eric Bieniemy, if they sign back Taylor Heineke, do you let them battle it out and see who starts?
Oh, this was my biggest hang-up. And when I was talking to my mom about the Eric Bieniemy move, because I just wanted her take on how she felt about it, just with him leaving Kansas City. And one thing I said is my biggest question, and I think the biggest issue for Washington is quarterback.
Yeah.
Has been, in my opinion, I feel like that Taylor Heineke experiment has gone on for long enough.
Yeah.
And I really think they just need to start fresh. I personally think you roll with Sam Howell. He was, at one point, a prospect that would have gone in the first round. And he, for other circumstances, he did not.
Right.
So we've seen that there's potential there. And not just when he played last season, like I saw it in the preseason before.
Absolutely.
So I'd like to see what he could do.
I kind of would rather go that route as well. I think if you're going to go get Lamar Jackson, you're going to give up some draft capital to do it. And maybe a player or some sort. So
we're actually considering Lamar Jackson, though. I mean, hey, if the chips fall.
Yeah. I mean, you cannot pass that up.
That's going to really be a true, like you said, I don't know if that's really going to happen. So if you had to go with the scenario that you have now, I think that they should see what they have in Sam Howell.
I agree. I thought he played quite well. I don't believe that the current offensive coordinator at that time was really taking advantage of his abilities in that game. They were too busy trying to help him not make mistakes instead of letting him play ball. You're trying to control the narrative. I didn't like that very much. But I do think that they should go that route. Because I think he has everything that you need in a quarterback. He has a better arm than Taylor as well. I mean, it's only so far you can get with that rah-rah, moxie that Heineke has. It only goes so far.
Mm-hmm.
With that said, how well do you believe this offense will be in 2023?
I think they'll be much improved. No, Eric Bieniemy does not have Patrick Mahomes,
Yeah.
But the other part of it, people thought when Tyreek Hill went to the Dolphins that the Chiefs were dead in the water, right? But Bieniemy was able to adjust the offense to make it work, and they went to the Super Bowl again. Then you're going to see a much more creative offense. I think they do still need to shore up some of that offensive line, and hopefully they off season. And just like I said, just shore up those pieces. But the wide receivers, I mean, they've got so much talent at running back, wide receiver. They need to, like I said, shore up that O-line. And with the right play caller, I really think you're going to see the offense open up. Yeah,
and they need to do something at linebacker. I like Trace Edmonds from the Bills in that spot, if they could get them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for the show.
Short and sweet this week.
Short and sweet. It's only really, that was the big topic. The All-Star game was boring, so that's awful.
Great. No Wizards in the All-Star game either, so.
That's wild, too. A little bit disrespectful.
I would have at least thought Kyle Kuzma.
Me too. I don't get it. Don't get it at all. Well, Carita, tell him.
I just think it has to do with the team that he's on. But anyway, let's go.
Yep. We're going to have to talk about that at a later date. Well, tell everybody what you got going on.
This week, I will be at the CIAA basketball tournament in Baltimore, providing some coverage on behalf of Double Take Sports. I plan on attending the NFL Combine at the end of the month, first week of March. So I decided that I'm just going to do what I need to do this year to grow the Double Take Sports brand. So that's what I will be doing.
That's awesome. It's awesome. Yep. I have the Gator Nationals to go to in March. That's drag racing season starts in Florida. Looking forward to it. We've had a couple shows on it, so it's going to be busy season for me. So should be fun.
Busy is good.
Got that right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your evening, afternoon, or morning whenever you listen to this. And thank you for listening. This has been another episode of The Breakdown.